internet, and as you can tell by the title of today's video, it's going to be a book haul. This one is part 3 of my 5-part series for April. The title of this video is kind of a joke in and of itself, half joke but half really serious, and that's the idea that we could kill people with our books, not only with the knowledge that they contain but the heftiness. I'm pretty sure if I threw one of the books that I own from this pile at someone, I could do some pretty bad damage to a person's brain. So we're going to start off with one of the smaller books in this book haul, and that is Toby Alone by Timothy Death. And this is about a boy who's 1.5 meters tall, and his dad is a scientist, and he discovers something very important about tree magic. Well, Toby and his family get kidnapped because all these people want the information that his dad found about this special tree energy, and Toby ends up getting away with the secret information. He is, of course, being pursued because, you know, that's what villains do. The really cool part about this book, and what made me pick it up, was the magic of the book cover. So I like green. It's one of my favorite colors. So already my attention was caught. Then, of course, I unfolded it and I saw the cover, more green, right? They took the time to print it onto the book cover. I love when they do that. But the most fascinating part is this book jacket right here. You unfold it, and you unfold it again, and all of a sudden, there's a map. And this is the map of the world that Toby is in. And it's the map of the tree where all of these events, I assume, take place. And I thought that was the best thing I've ever seen. If every book could have a fold-out book jacket map in it, that would be amazing. Next book on my list is again another of these smaller purchases, and this is The Bone Shaker by Kate Milford. Now, I am still not quite sure what's going on with this book. It's, from what I can tell, it's about a 13-year-old girl, and she finds out that this crazy scientist in her community is doing a lot of weird stuff, and it has to do with like machinery and machine science. So it's all about machines and her discovering like this evil-ish or devilish plot going on, and her trying to save her town or her city. So now we are starting with the giant ones, the ones that could kill, and the first one, ironically, is about a boy who can't be killed. The Death and Life of Zebulun Flinch at the Edge of Empire by Daniel Kras. And this is about a boy who has been 17 for a century. From what I understand, this boy has Wolverined his way through life. I'm not quite sure if he's trying to figure out why he's immortal, or if somebody's after him because he's immortal. I'm not quite sure how that plays into everything, just that he's lived through a lot. So that's probably why this book is so big. It caught my eye because of the excerpt that they brought in the back, which reads, "Let us begin with this. I am 17 years old. And also this. I have been 17 years old for over a century." So again, I'm not quite sure where this is going with the whole immortal thing, but it seemed fascinating. The cover, if you can see that, is like this really pretty. When I looked at this, the first thing I remembered is that Doctor Who episode that takes place in one of the world wars, and it's the "Are You My Mummy" episode where they're wearing the gas mask. Yeah, so I had to pick it up simply on reference alone. I have good reasons for buying books. Don't look at me like that. The next book on my list is a taller book, more so than it is a big book, and that is The Marauders by Tom Cooper. This book I bought, and I'm not ashamed to say I bought it, simply because it had the word Marauders on it, and I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. So I was like, that reference, just gotta pick it up. So this is a modern Don Quixote retelling. If any of you are familiar with the tale of Don Quixote, you probably understand where this was going. For any of you who are not, Don Quixote is an old tale about this knight. It's that crazy knight who started attacking windmills and stuff. Major lessons taken away is how Don Quixote is so determined to be a knight that he goes through crazy things to commit that. That's why he's attacking windmills. He thinks they're monsters. This modern day Don Quixote is about a guy who has always had this childhood dream of finding this buried treasure. So he's always believed believe that there is a buried treasure around. He's always heard stories about it, and he is determined to be the first one to find it. I like the story of Don Quixote, I like the story of finding buried treasure, and I like the name The Marauders. So I thought I'd give it a shot. That rhymed. Wow. I'm so proud of myself. Next book on my list is again one of those bigger ones. We're coming back to those kill 'em books, and that is Draw the Line by Laurent Lynn. Laurent Lynn writes a boy who goes through a lot simply because of who he is. He is an artist who loves to draw. He is a sci-fi geek and probably makes tons of references that the commoners don't understand, and he is gay. And in Texas, none of those things are highly appreciated. He finds joy in writing comics, which is interestingly enough depicted inside. Props to that. And he finds himself in the middle of a crime, or a crime happens. Something happens, crime related. It flips his life upside down. I picked this book up, one, because it had pictures inside, and I like pictures. Two, because it reminded me a lot of Hero, which I have a video on. It's by Perry Moore. It's about a boy who finds out he has superpowers. He wants to be a superhero. There's a lot of problems that go into that, and he also happens to be gay. This reminded me of that. I loved that story, so I wanted to see what happened here. I wanted to see what this one did. Had pictures, it looked cool, and it was a big book that I could kill someone with, so it got added to my basket and now to my bookshelf. The last book on my list, another hefty one, is one that I mentioned before and I said I was gonna get. I fulfilled my promises, especially when they are about books, and that is Illuminae by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. So, of course, I have mentioned that I wanted to read this book before because it looks pretty interesting. I mean, look at that, and this, and look at that, and this. If you liked any of the books you've seen here, if you're interested in them, if you want me to move them higher up onto my TBR list so that I can review and give you my opinions on what I liked and didn't like, what I thought of the book, and if I would recommend it, comment down below and let me know. If you like what you're seeing here and you want to continue to see more, you know to hit that little subscribe button and ring the bell to be notified every time I put out a new video. That is it for this video, and goodbye, internet.